is the first day that Kevin has been to Park City since that crash. What was it like for you taking the drive up today and pulling back here into Park City?
Yeah, it was a trip. Is that working? Ah, there we go. It was a trip last night, man. I came in at like midnight, and I wasn't really thinking about it, and you know, I didn't really think it was going to be weird at all to come up here, and it didn't really kick in until I was on the road just coming in, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. Kind of what had happened, what I had gone through, and what I put so many people through. I mean, my family, all my friends, my fans, just like everybody had gone through so much, and just because of this half pipe in this place had done it all for me. So it was a lot weirder than I thought. But
what was the first thing that you remember after the accident?
It's weird. It's weird how long it took for me to remember something, and I think Holly has a much better knowledge of why it takes the brain so long. But I was with her, and she was saving me, had me on all the life-saving devices. But it was after I left her. I was with her for a month. What was it? Month and a half, and then they flew me to that hospital I was talking about, the rehab hospital, Craig in Denver. It was the flight from Salt Lake to Denver, and the airplane was really loud, and I didn't like the loud noises, but yeah, that's the first thing I remember.
Dr. Ledyard, you're a neurointensivist, correct? What is it like for you to sit here? In your business, you don't get to see a lot of people come back, and surely not the way Kevin has. What has it been like spending this journey with him? And tell us a little bit more about what it is you do as an intensivist.
Well, as an intensivist, what we do is take care of patients who have some kind of critical brain illness, whether it's traumatic brain injury like Kevin, or strokes, or ruptured aneurysms, or spinal cord injuries. We work in hand with the neurosurgeons and kind of take care of all of the day-to-day stuff, the ventilator management, all of the cardiac management, and are basically with them for most of the day for their entire hospitalization. And then for me, watching Kevin has been incredible. I think initially when Kevin came in, nobody on the medical team ever imagined that he would be on a snowboard again. And that was right up front. We looked at his brain injury and said, holy cow, this is bad. And trying to walk through all of the initial steps with the family and preparing them for kind of the long road to come. And then it wasn't long after Kevin kind of started getting better and his personality started to reemerge that I thought, you know what, this kid may just get on a snowboard again. I wouldn't doubt it.
How soon for you, as you were sort of starting to come back into your natural self, did you even think to yourself, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get back on the horse?
Yeah, you know, since I started snowboarding a couple weeks ago, I've been asked that question a couple times, and I remember being in the hospital in Denver, and like it was just like probably 2 months after the injury, and I was lying there, and I was like, I'll be able to snowboard here in a couple weeks, like having no idea where I was or what I was going through, and then kind of hearing the news that it was going to be a year till I could ride again, and then 2 years till I could ride again, but it never crossed my mind once that I wasn't going to be able to snowboard, so kind of I knew I was always going to do it again, but I think that's one main reason why I put in so much hard work.
What are some of the things that you had to overcome, just that you had to learn again, just to function?
Yeah, you know, I had to learn everything. I've seen videos, and I don't remember any of it because I was with Holly in the hospital, but I've seen videos of me having to learn how to swallow again, and like things as small as that, and then you know, there was the walking and some talking and just kind of everything had to kind of start over again.
What's that process like, Doctor?
Well, it's incredibly slow. The brain's not like any other part of the body. It's not very forgiving. It will heal to some extent. There's something that we talk about called plasticity, and so certain parts of the brain can kind of recircuit, rewire itself, but that takes a course of years, and it can still continue even 2-3 years after an injury, which is kind of what Kevin is experiencing now. It takes a lot more work, but it's an incredibly slow process, and it's very common for people who are in Kevin's position to have to learn how to walk and talk and swallow all over again.
To put it in perspective, a year after this kid was basically sitting in a coma, he was sitting next to me with a headset on at the X Games and was my analyst for the half pipe and slopestyle. And there was a couple times where we were sitting there, and mind you, this is a live broadcast. Kevin's never done this before. And usually he's in the pipe and I'm talking about his run. And I looked over a couple times at him, and while he's talking and giving this brilliant analysis of what's going on in the event, and I was like, am I on some sort of dream planet right now? How is this happening? It really speaks, I think, to your drive. I want to know what it is. What is it that has driven you to say, I'm not just going to like recover a little bit, but I'm going to live?
Yeah, I think that I was lucky there because I had worked so hard to get to where I was in snowboarding and kind of get to that level to almost making the Olympics, and I was kind of so focused and working so hard the whole time, and that hasn't changed, and I think I'm very lucky I still have that I've still worked so hard for the last 2 years, and just like crazy amounts of, like I was saying in that movie, crazy amounts of energy and effort I've put in to get back here. And it's pretty crazy because, as Holly was saying, the brain heals very slow, and the doctors at the beginning told my mom it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And this is a marathon, and it's a long ass marathon.
What are some of the challenges that you deal with just on a day-to-day basis, whether it come to your memory and just your brain function, that you can put in perspective for the things that you had naturally before?
Yeah, I think the main one is kind of the memory, and God, my memory is so bad, and the hard thing is that people always come up and are like,
they warned me about the checks.
Like, yeah, I got a bad memory, I can't remember people's names, and like they say things like that to me, but it's just hard for anybody to relate at all unless if you've had a brain injury, because they have no idea what it's like for me to have a bad memory. And then my balance and my vision was huge, just because my vision was so bad, and then it was perfect before, and then it was terrible, and then I got eye surgery, and now it's way better.
How bad was it?
It was like so bad that my lenses were like an inch thick. They had this thing called a prism in them, and it was a 14, and now it's at a 1, so it's pretty crazy how much better they are now.
We talked at the outset